Hi, everybody. So in this video, we're going to talk about pronation and supination of the forearm. Now, remember that the forearm is composed of two bones. We have the radius and the ulna. Now, in anatomical position, the bones are parallel. So with the bones parallel, we have the radius, which is actually going to be under your thumb, okay? And then we have the ulna, which is going to be under your pinky, okay? So we have the radius being lateral and the ulna being medial. So radius is lateral, ulna being medial. Now, the head of the radius is going to be found on the structure on the humerus called the capitulum. So it's going to allow it to spin, okay? So one of the roles that's going to happen here, or one of the things that's going to happen here is the radius is going to spin as it goes to move around the ulna. Now, you can actually kind of see this process occur. So if you take your arm and you lay your arm out flat, okay? So say we've laid our arm out flat like this, okay? Remember that your thumb here is going to be the side with the radius, the pinky is with the ulna. So without moving our elbow, if we rotate our hand over, so we pronate our hand, notice that our thumb side can change and our thumb and pinky now swap places, but neither one of them moved at the forearm or at the actual elbow joint itself. This means that we're making these bones, instead of being parallel, but we're taking them from being parallel and crossing them over. So in the process of pronating the arm, we're making the bones cross over, okay? Now, with anatomical position, this would be called the supine position. So we're on the back of the hand, okay? So this is where the palm is facing anteriorly. So like I said, this is where we have radius and ulna being in parallel. Now, when we pronate the hand, so we basically take the hand and rotate it over, so where the palm is now facing posteriorly, but we leave the elbow in place. What we're going to see here is we're going to have that radius spin on the capitulum here, and our styloid process is going to wrap around and now face medially, okay? So the bones are now going to make an X. Now, what's actually going to hold them in their particular spacings and keep them from getting too close together or anything like that is actually going to be that interosseous membrane that's going to be in between them. Between that and the interaction between the radius and ulna and the wrist bones, we're going to keep the bones in a very particular orientation. So still keep them from touching each other. So keep them in that same distance, okay? Now, so like I said, we start with them in parallel. When we pronate the hand, the radius spins on the capitulum, and then we're going to cross the radius over the front of the ulna. So it's going to spin around, and that's what's actually going to allow us to point our palm backwards. Okay, so we're going to make that little X. Now, you can also see this occur if you look at your biceps. Okay, so your biceps, remember, attaches here at the radial tuberosity. In anatomical position, the radial tuberosity is actually going to be closer to the biceps, or not closer to the biceps, but closer to the shoulder. Okay, so when you flex your arm with your palm facing posteriorly, the muscle is going to be kind of compact. Okay, so it's going to be short, and that's because the distance itself it's covering is short. Now, if you take that same tension and then you pronate your hand, you'll actually see your biceps muscle stretch out as it has to follow that radial tuberosity around as you pronate your hand. So we can also kind of see it that way. So we can see the spin of the radius that way, okay? Now, if you have any questions about what your skeleton looks like as it's moving or anything like that, please just let me know. All right, thanks. Bye.